Hello guys, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our dot programming language course. I hope you all are fine. Our previous tutorial was about factory constructor. Now in today's tutorial we are going to discuss what is generic in Dart. Generic is a way to create a class or function that can work with different types of data. If you look at the internal implementation of list class, it is generic class. It can work with different data types like integer, string, double, etc. For example, list of int is a list of integers and list of string is a list of strings and list of double is a list of double values. You can see here list is a generic class and we can mention its type here. Same like this, we will create our classes and functions by using generic. Let me open VS Code and show you practically. First of all, here let me create a class, simple class, and name it as data, for example, data class. And in this class, for example, there is a variable a, and let me make its constructor data this dot a. This is simple class. We already discussed what is class, and here let me create object of this data class data, and here I can pass any value like this, and simply here I can print data dot a. You know, this is basic class and object we already discussed in our previous tutorials. You can see here we can pass only here data of our integer type integer. We cannot pass any other thing. For example, here if I try to pass string, you can see it is not accepting because we mentioned its type here integer. So if I change it to, for example, string, now you can see error removed, we can pass string. But again, if I change to double double, you can see again it is showing error. So this is the issue. Now I will show you method to overcome this issue. For this, let me remove everything like this. And here after class name, I can use type here. Basically, we use here T. You can use here anything A, B, C, but mostly we use T here. And here instead of mention type integer, double or string, we will use here T and declare variable A. Again, let me create constructor and this dot a like this. You can see we did not mention its type. We use T as this is symbol. Now let me show you here while creating its object we need to mention its type here. This is very important. Here for example I mention integer and create object, again data, and here I need to mention integer again, and simply here we can pass data 100 for example. Now we can print data dot a like this. Let me test it. You can see it is working, it is printing. Now while creating object we need to mention type. This is very important. So if I need to pass string data, I can use here string data of type string, and here I can pass string value like this, and I can print. You can see. So this is called generic. This is class. We can also create functions. Here let me create function. Function name, for example, my function, and this is the function. This is basic function. Here I can use generic concept T, and I can also pass any parameters into this function T value, and inside this I can print value like this. Let me remove this and call this function my function, and here I can pass any value, any type. I can pass here, for example, string value, and here we need to mention its type. If you did not mention any type, then it will automatically detect its type from this value. You can see it is showing its type string. If I run it, you can see it is working. If I change this value to integer, you can see automatically its type changed to integer. If I run it, you can see it is showing 200. I can also mention its type, return type. Return type of this function here, t. You can see return type t. Now I can return any value. Return value like this. And here I can store this value into any integer. For example, b. I pass here integer and it will return integer, and I can print b like this. Sorry, b like this. Let me try. You can see it is working. So in this way we can pass any type of data into our class or function by using generic concept. We can also make restrictions here. We can set restrictions. Let me show you how to set restrictions. Here you can see class data, and here we mention t. Here we will set restrictions. For example, we want to accept only integer and double. For this purpose, I will use here after t, I will use extends, and here I can use type number. You all know this num accepts integer and double, all the integers and doubles. Now, if I try to create object of data, and here I can pass integer value data, and here for example 100 like this. Sorry, here I need equal sign like this. You can see there is no error. We can pass integer. If I try to pass double value 2.5 for example, here I need to change type to double like this. You can see there is no error. We can do this. But now if I try to change type to string, and here if I pass string value, now this time you can see it is showing error. If I hover it, you can see string does not conform to the bound num of type parameter t. You can see because we extends our parameter t with num, that is why we can only pass integer and double. We cannot pass any other value. So this is the way we can restrict our type here in generic. We can do same thing inside function here. If I extends my function t with num, now this time if I call my function, and here I can pass only integer and double. First of all, let me test with integer. You can see there is no error. If I change to 5.5, there is no error. Now let me try with string. If I pass string, now this time you can see it is showing error, same error, because we restrict our generic type to num. We can pass only integer and double. So this is the basic use of generic. Let me show you something interesting. Here let me remove this class. I want to show you just with function. So if you are confused with T, you can change it to any other symbol. For example, A, I want to use capital A. So you need to replace T everywhere in your program like this. You can see there is no error. So there will be no effect on our program. We can use anything. Here if I pass string value, you can see it is accepting. This is just sample, so you can use anything A, B, C or any other. If you have two parameters, for example, in this case there is only one parameter. If you have more than one parameters, for example, there is another parameter B value 2. Now you can see it is showing error because we need to mention B in type here. Here, after comma, we need to mention B. Now you can see error removed. Now here we can pass two values like this. Now you can see it automatically detected the type string and integer. So by using this method we can pass multiple parameters. I hope you understand the concept of generic. If you face any issue or any question, you can ask me in comment box or you can contact me directly on WhatsApp. Okay, good luck.